the cost isn't that bad. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy thought puzzle trap that you go down when you start becoming woke, because it's it's crazy. Yeah, now, fake woke, however you want to call it.
I wanted to tie this into my earlier statements about agreeing with you about personal property. If you bought a Cybertruck, you deserve to have shit smeared on that. That is the ugliest motherfucking truck ever.
It looks like Tomb Raider. Remember Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider titties? That's what it looked like.
Yes. Yes.
Oh shit!
It just looks like Jordan's here.
I know you can.
He's taking the place.
It's 187.
Yeah,
187 on a motherfucking
cop.
Pod.
You know it. 187 on a motherfucking pod.
Are we gonna go ahead and start?
Yeah, we're started. We're rolling.
All right,
we in this bitch.
We're rolling.
Shout out to Born King. I hope you have another one of these shirts, because I want another one of my father-in-law joints. I played basketball and shit today. You know what I'm saying? I played good. I got my LeBrons on still. I bought an extra pair of LeBrons because it's cool. This is a murder episode right here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're gonna pot it up. We got a lot of things to talk about today.
Murder season again. It's murder season again.
Murder season again.
I'm probably gonna get in trouble today, so let's do this.
Man. Yeah, I mean, man. I hope Talib Kweli doesn't watch this shit.
Oh shit.
Man.
No, not really. But anyway, boom. Carl, it's a dope hoodie you got there, man.
Yes, it is. Shout out to Big Ghost. Shout out to Bozak Morris. They always drop some fly gear. I am in the yacht club. The Wave.
True indeed. I fucks with it, yo. Primo Jab bought merch.
Hey man, I don't want to hear shit about it, man.
It's good merch to buy. I'm happy that you're buying merch. Keep supporting.
Look, I had to do it. You know,
I was disappointed when you weren't.
Gun. Shout out West Side Gun, man. You know, shout out West Side Gun and Griselda merch. You know, I mean, it's, you know, you got to do what you got to do, man. You know, it is what it is, man. I mean, you know, I mean, this was a one of a kind. I had to do it, man. It had Mike on it, man. You know?
Come on, man.
I had to do it, man.
I don't know what that 12 is about.
Well, because it's Hitler 12.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you did there. Yeah, I have no regrets. For what I did.
12 is the police number.
12 is police number. That is true. Yeah. But yeah, it's 187 on the motherfucking pod.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely is, man.
Beginning of season 7 too.
Yeah.
Season 7, murder season again.
The puzzle piece is a good idea. I had nothing, yo.
No, I like that. I like that. I think I'm going with that. I'll go digi camo later, maybe season 8.
Okay, yeah, let's save that. Save that. We'll put that in the tub.
The puzzle pieces look kind of cool. I'm gonna do it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, shout out to Carl. Shout out to Carl. If y'all don't know, Carl edits the show. Carl cuts the clips. Carl does the graphics. Carl does everything. Carl is a one-stop hip-hop shop. You know what I'm saying? Right. Oh, hey, no, MacGyver.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a MacGyver of sorts.
He's not MacGruber. He's MacGyver.
You get this. You get that. You got this. You put it all together. All of a sudden, it's the bomb.
Yep. I can make it happen.
That shit is wild. I'm like, yo, how you do that? That shit's wild. Word.
Because he's MacGyver, man. Don't think about it.
Definitely.
And I got to say something real quick before we get too far into this. I cannot wait until we drop our first album and people get to hear the insane fucking bars that you spit on season 2 coming this November. Holy shit, Lukey. Everybody in the band tripped out. Mike,
he got back with you, huh?
Oh, man. So he rapped on the part he was supposed to, but he went in like super early on this like heavy thrash part that's really fast. Nice. And we weren't expecting that. So I had to recut the songs so that I could accommodate, you know, everything. But he does this really sick, fast-paced flow over the thrash part. And then when it drops into the hip-hop beat, he just drops right with it. And it's super sick, Lukey. I'm so happy with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Happy with it.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Word. It was definitely a challenge. And I like challenge songs. It makes you get to rap a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you for letting me be on that shit, man.
Yeah, you killed it.
I'm glad y'all like that shit.
Killed it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. That's pretty dope, man. I can't wait for y'all to hear that shit, yo. Word.
I can't wait to hear it.
Got bombs. I did a little work for Primo Jab the same week too.
Yeah, so sure did.
Yeah, the circle of life. Primo Jab, bottom Mars now.
That's right.
Yeah,
we working out here, man.
Making art.
Yeah. Shout out to Words. I'm doing some work with Words. A couple other motherfuckers, yo.
Shout out Words.
Yeah. Words will be on the show soon, yo. Check it out. I like to talk about something real quick because
let's go, man. We got nothing but time.
It was fire, man. 17-year-old kid from Conyers. Conyers is
Georgia. Yep.
In Georgia.
Free
That's
Cortez.
Right down there.
Free Cortez.
Dude named Cortez, man. He made a diss up. Yo, Benjamin. His name should have been Ben a Bitch.
Benjamin a Bitch.
Benjamin is a bitch.
Yeah, Benjamin.
And fuck Coach Steve too.
Fuck Coach Steve. Fuck Mike Green. That's what I thought.
Fuck Mike Green. Fuck Coach
Shout
Steve.
Out Spoda.
You know, both of them. They all get the smoke.
I sent it to Carl, and I actually tagged Carl on the pod, on the thing on Facebook, and I was like, "Yo, we got to talk about this. We got to." And at first listen, I'm like, "Yo, the recording is so horrible.
Oh, it's bad." I'm offering my services when they let him out of jail. If he wants to do a part 2, he can do it at my place, and we'll record that shit right.
Stay out of it.
That's
because
a fact.
If you think about it, they did the right thing by locking them up, man. Because peep the fly shit.
No, okay, yeah, let's go. Here we go.
He put the threats out. He's in school, and in the climate of the schools nowadays is school shootings or whatever. He made terroristic threats directly to these two motherfuckers. This is not
who's doing the school shootings, Lukey.
Thank you,
Who
Carl.
shoots up schools, Lukey? It's not people that are writing diss records. It's people that keep manifestos. There's a difference.
It's different.
It's generally low melanin people that are keeping manifestos.
Carl, get busy.
I'm gonna be the one to say it.
Get busy, Carl.
He took his aggression out in the form of art, and they locked him up for it.
No, Lukey.
Yes, but this is the best nigga manifesto ever, yo. He went in. Son, this is okay. Drill music do all the time. They're in school and they don't get arrested.
They're not in school.
Do they? They're in
sometimes they get caught on RICO cases.
Drill rappers, a lot of these high school kids make song.
Yeah, but they're not going to school. They're actually in the field doing.
I Am Scorpion.
Shit. Yeah, he is Scorpion.
Yeah.
They go to school. He is
they go to school too.
Let there be carnage.
Yeah, the carnage. That was hard. Yo,
hey, man.
I Am a Scorpion.
Shout out my man Cortez.
We all been let there be carnage. Yeah.
Free Cortez, man.
All
Free
this
Cortez,
big,
man.
Fat back. Nigga, fuck you and cousin Steve.
Yeah.
Fuck you and Coach Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, look, let's
take your big fat back ass, make you bite the curb, man. Fuck them, man. Let's go.
Think about it though. If you were really looking to hurt this person, you wouldn't warn him ahead of time in a song. Drill rappers rap about stupid crap that they've done, and that's what gets them in trouble. He hadn't done anything other than talk shit.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, that's not illegal.
It's not.
No, but they arrested
Carl, look, that's what I'm saying, bro. You know, this
he see the mugshot.
This is a terrible precedent to set. Georgia and Conyers are on some bullshit just in general for doing this. This is impinging on his First Amendment freedom of speech. It's a fucking song. You're not going to announce that you're going to fuck people up off of a song. That's for them to try to turn that into terroristic threats. Like, I mean, I know they did. And that's a whole ass move. They have given him the charge. He's going to beat the case. Any lawyer worth any amount of money will beat this case. This case, Laura's going to go to the Supreme Court. Either way, he's going to get off. Free Cortez. Fuck Coach Steve.
Nah, man.
Benjamin been a bitch.
Cortez.
Hey, I'm glad Cortez made the diss track, man. I hated it at first, but I played it 7 times in a row, and it was
I did too.
It was.
It really was, yo. Yeah. All jokes aside,
it at first.
all jokes aside, Cortez, that's my guy. And yeah, you shouldn't have been locked up. I'm joking. They didn't do the right thing.
Absolutely
they didn't do the right thing. They didn't do the right thing.
No, they definitely didn't.
But Cortez, I need that album, bro.
No, I don't need an album from him.
No, I need it.
I'm good
well,
if
he's going to do an album, he needs to up the production value. Is all I'm
absolutely.
saying. I can't listen to 9 tracks of that.
That shit sounded like what happens when you bite on aluminum foil. Like that was the actual sound of what it
Lukey
sounds
said
like.
They recorded it on tin cans with a string.
Yo,
I can believe it. Yeah, it was terrible sound quality, but that's what it's supposed to. I mean, it's raw. You know what I mean? That's what I think made it dope as far as like the energy behind it. It was definitely authentic. It was definitely raw. You know, again, like I said, it wasn't the best rapping, but I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to call it America's second most hottest diss song of the past 2 years. You know what I mean? It's going to be a major, this song it's one of them ones, man.
It had heart. That's for sure. It had heart. You can tell he put his feelings in it.
He said he's gonna crash out.
All feelings. It's all feelings.
Yeah, he does not like Benjamin at all.
No, fuck Benjamin. Fuck the team. Fuck Benjamin. Fuck Coach Steve. Fuck anybody else who got a problem with him or think he crazy. Fuck all that. Hey, man, free Cortez, man. Free Cortez.
Yeah, Cortez, that guy. Yeah. Yo, that shit is, Cortez, that's my guy, yo. Going back to what me and Carl were talking about earlier, we was talking about box braids on Roseanne Barr. You know what I'm saying?
But we were talking about woke, the term woke.
Oh, great.
And you had posted a really interesting video that even sparked a conversation between E and I, just as far as the co-option of that word and the timeline that happened with what was going on with that word, because you had mentioned around 2020, it started to kind of become a
slur.
This term. Well, and really
before then, the left was using it over and over again.
Right.
Like, crazy.
And what I had said was, when Black Lives Matter was happening, it was this convenient way for predominantly white women to self-grandize themselves as being cool, as being good people.
I am woke.
And using it as this term so that they could tell people that they're not the problem. And then it became this reason to cancel people. If you don't have the black square on your profile pic, you're not woke, so we're going to come after you. And then comedy started to change, and we couldn't talk about trans, or we couldn't talk about race, or we couldn't talk about all of these different things in comedy. And then it became this, woke culture is ruining this, or I can't wait till woke culture is dead, and this and that. And, but it really, the first main co-option of it was mainly white people trying to pretend like they weren't racist or, trying to prove to other people that they weren't against black people or against, people of color.
Well, honestly, Carl, that was the second co-option of the word
second move.
Right.
The first co-option of the word woke was, black people who, let's just say general black people, casual black people who would use it to describe their friends and family members who were deeper into certain thought paths and et cetera, et cetera. And it was like, oh yeah, you woke. Oh, you stay woke. That was still second of black people owning that word. No, but he said we're talking about the co-option of it, because at that point, once you started, for example, once it started becoming kind of like, like casual language to describe people, which was started again by black folks calling their friends woke, or he woke. Oh yeah, you one of them woke people.
Stay woke. Like that woke,
all that type of stuff. Yeah, once it became a casual kind of descriptor, that's when it started elevating to being embraced by, the other people that were kind of listening and keeping their finger on the tap of the culture and like, oh, woke. Oh yeah, I'm woke too. I'm woke too. So then that's when it moved into that second iteration of it, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, it really just started with, just random other black folks saying, oh yeah, you one of them woke people. And then when they kind of took the value away from it, because it used to just be a term when people would say it, they'd be like, yeah, stay woke. Like you said, Lukey, that would be something that was not used very often, but it started becoming, kind of it entered into the lexicon. Let's say it ebonically started becoming
ebonically.
It started becoming more normalized. You know what I mean? And then once that happened, that's when, other disenfranchised groups decided to start glomming onto it. And then from the disenfranchised, it became anything counterculture. And from it becoming anything counterculture, obviously, it became the opposition's slur towards anything that they didn't like.
Right.
That's the whole transition as far as I see it. But yeah, I mean, it's weird.
I find it interesting because you use the word ebonic, and we know that white people will often try to take anything that's cool from Black culture, and it's a common practice. It's happened for a long, long time. But I don't know if you remember, there was a time, I want to say in the early 2000s, where they started teaching ebonics at colleges and schools out in Oakland and in the Bay Area. And I don't know if they did it in other places, but I was out there.
More liberal holes. I bet you it happened probably they had discussions about it in Princeton and Harvard and, any sort of liberal, hyper liberal places, especially Oakland, Berkeley, things like that. Yeah, they definitely were studying ebonics and there were absolutely academics who were doing dissertations on the roots of ebonics and how ebonics is the evolution of English culture, or how it's attached to this, that, and third. I mean, you can Google it. I mean, it was a thing. There were definitely people that were doing all types of term papers and things on it, on ebonics, which
I don't like that.
And then it became African American vernacular. That was the evolution of ebonics. That was the title that was then gifted to ebonics, which it was initially a part of the definition of ebonics, but then it became African American vernacular, or AAV. That's the academic term for it, because we can't have nothing. We can't have nothing.
I just don't like the fact that you're teaching it. Why did you? Okay, check it out.
There's the curiosity, bro. It's the curiosity.
I mumble a lot. A lot of times I sound like I say one long word when I talk. Everybody knows that. But why would you not want your children to speak clearly in better English? Why would you want them to speak like that? You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna 50-50 it and say I think it's important to understand how to communicate properly with all forms of people. But I also see the absolute need for people to have a way of communicating with themselves, and a lot of what we consider current, African American vernacular was started because slaves needed to communicate with each other in ways that other people weren't going to understand. And that's a protection method. That's something that to the core is steeped in the culture. So, I think that as soon as white people start co-opting those words, we're ripping the veil off of your ability to be able to communicate and communicate solely with you and your people. And so, like, there are terms that I'll use. I say dope a lot. I say, I'm not trying to be an old white person, but I'm also not trying to sound hip. I don't want to be that guy that's, running around using slang terms. Well, you know what I mean, though.
I know what you mean. I can't wait to rebuttal this. I have something to say about that.
I just feel like there's an important reason that those types of slang had occurred, and there's a reason why it continually changes, and why people don't say frizzle my dizzle or anything anymore, because white people started saying it all the time, and it was no longer cool.
Real quick, Carl, we communicate a lot of times everybody communicates one way with their family and one way with professionally, or one way, two or three ways. And I'm giving it to you, Paul's feelings. Carl, you're one of the guys where you know when Barack Obama dapped up the black guys and then shook the hands of the white guys. You're one of the guys that we would dap up just like the black guys. You know what I'm saying? Not because you're so-called invited to the cookout, because you understand us. Like, does that make sense, Primo Jab?
Well, I would also hope it's because I'm me.
Yeah,
and I don't try to be anybody other than me.
You don't understand us as a black people. You understand us
as individuals.
Our friend. So we're dapping you because we like you. Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't go up to Carl and shake his hand. I hug people that I hug people with two hands that I care about. But I don't. I'm just like this. I don't want to shake your hand. You might be nasty. Anyway,
no, what you're talking about. You're talking about two different things, but they all kind of cross together. Like the case of what Carl was just explaining and what you were just co-signing with Carl. Like it's a difference between being somebody who's authentically in the culture, not in quote unquote invited to the cookout, but somebody who's authentically in the culture. And that's just how you talk. That's just the words you use because you have a context of culturally knowing the appropriate use of the words, and you use it just because that's the words that express the feelings that you are using at that point in time, because you are actually authentically a part of the cloth of it. You know what I mean? You're not somebody who's like, oh yeah, again, you're not one of those people listening like, oh wait, what's the new word? Oh, okay. Oh, wigwam, gotcha. Like whatever, you're not listening to try to, be hip or be down. Like, you happen to be down. You are down. It's not something you're trying to do. You just are. And that's the two. There's different levels to this. Like we talk about, and I think when I say we, this goes back to the woke conversation, right? The backlash that has existed from wokeness, the anti-woke campaign, is because those who champion anti-wokeness could not make the distinction between being a person who is white and white people. You know what I mean? And when I say that, it's like, obviously it's the general simplistic term is white people are the problem, right? White people this, the white man this, we've heard it. Everybody's heard it. Now, that doesn't mean that like every white person is on white people shit. Like it's not the same.
We're not all keeping the man, or we're not all the man.
We're not. Everybody's not the man. Thank you, Carl. Yeah, and that was the crux of it, because essentially at the core of the whole wokeness thing was when it transitioned to the bigger level, making it easy to digest. It was easy to just, when you're talking to a random person trying to get them down with you, it was easy to blame cis white men for everything, right? So that's why, random white dudes were like, hey, bro, like, I'm not,
get off me.
I'm not anti you. I don't care about that. But now you're just blaming me for white people stuff. Like, I get it. Slavery happened, and this is where CRT, critical race theory, all that comes in, because you're being critical of an entire race is what critical race theory is. But basically you're being critical of the white people, which it just happened to be the case. Yes, white people were oppressors. White people were the colonizers that came in and did all the bullshit that set up systemic racism systems around the world, the Western world in general, but in the colonized world of the third world, and created a negative lasting impact that was beneficial for other people that tended to look like themselves. But it didn't affect everybody. Like, there are poor white people that are like, hey man, I don't benefit from none of this stuff.
West Virginia, Mississippi, Louisiana.
You know what
Kentucky,
I mean? I don't benefit from this. The Slavic people, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you think about it, like Luca. We were talking about this the other day. Luca, none of them type of dudes. They probably don't. They're not down with. They don't think of themselves as the white people. They're like, I just happen to be a white dude. Like, yeah, Yeah, I'm white. So
country,
what? But I'm not.
They're on their country. They're not on their really skin color.
Yeah, but then again, and then you take all that back. It goes back to like the 20s. Again, this is what Trump and all of these people are benefiting off of, is they know that they can pander to a certain group of people, a certain mentality where it's better to be a poor white person than the richest black person or the richest minority person. You're still privileged just off of their skin color. And this is a concept that's come out, it's been around since the 1800s when Italians weren't white. Irish people weren't white. They just became white. And they're still technically like Irish and Italians. They're on the outskirts of it. Depends on, who you ask or what city you go to, but they're not technically, like the white people, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, the WASP white person that when you think of the man, the oppressor, the thumb on your back, the bank manager who denies your loan, the congressman who is gerrymandering you so that you have to vote a certain way.
I mean, we can say the biggest problem was the British Empire. I mean, they basically set a pretty big blueprint for how bad systems. White people can be.
Absolutely.
I'll touch on this just briefly because, I've heard a lot of different stuff about white privilege, and you would find a lot of people in those lower economic situations that are white that would say, I have no privilege.
I don't have any privilege. Yeah, absolutely.
I would disagree with that in some sense because
I agree.
I will still say that even if I dress like a bum and go into a store, I'm not going to get the same eyes that you get dressed in a suit in that same store.
Yep.
I don't have to panic every time a police pulls me over. There are definitely things that I can't control, but definitely benefit me as being a white person. So, I've heard people say, well, I live in a trailer park in Tennessee. I have no privilege. You don't have a lot of advantages and you definitely, have a lot of issues, but that doesn't mean that there aren't situations that you can be in and white benefits you. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
It just does.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. I got something to piggyback on that, but go ahead, Lukey. Say something. Man, we podding today. 187 on the motherfucking pod.
I agree, but we in Atlanta, yo. And even though some shit
I got something. Go for it.
Even those certain things, depends on where you at and what time you at. I'm so grateful to be in a city full of understanding, sometimes tolerance, love. At the same time, it's a lot of fucked up shit that goes on here. But generally, my experience in being in Atlanta, in the greater metro Atlanta area, has been pretty fucking good. I remember one time Carl told me a story that somebody was stealing something and they called him a racist. And the employee was defending Carl, right? They're like, he ain't racist. What the fuck? Yeah, that's one of the things that people that don't know people here. I love it here. Like,
yeah, and I would agree. I think, it's a lot better than a lot of places.
I went to Florida.
Than Charlotte. I got a story for that.
Bro, yeah, you got caught in the trash can, bro. That shit was wild. Anyway, y'all don't remember? You remember? Yeah, that shit was wild.
That story was great.
Yeah, but yo, I forgot what I was gonna say because I thought about Primo Jab on that hot ass trash can stuck in the trash can. Man, that shit was wild.
Oh shit, yeah, man.
Yeah,
shout out that Mexican man. Shout out the immigrant who saved my life, man.
That's right. That's right.
Indeed. I was at the basketball court with a dude from Venezuela. He looked at me like, "Oh shit, you gonna call ICE?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not gonna call you, bro. Nah. But if you score me one more time, I might call them niggas."
Wow.
He was good.
If anything, ICE would come and take you away. They'd be like, "Man, this man has made you bleed."
I don't know. I might have to worry, folks. I might have to worry. He's really fucking with Canada pretty hardcore right now. And there's the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 that he's possibly going to reinstate. And if he does, he can deport legal aliens like myself, resident aliens, if he feels like I am against him or his policies.
That's right.
How crazy is that shit?
It's very crazy.
Bro, aren't you a citizen?
No. I am a resident alien.
You have a green card,
permanent resident.
Right?
Yeah, I have a green card.
Yeah, you're a green card holder. So technically, his green card can be revoked at any time.
Well, at the time, that wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
But since he's started with Canada, he's been kind of ramping up this whole. He keeps calling the prime minister governor. He says, what a great 51st state Canada is.
Invisible eye, bro. That's a seen off blow. We take the invisible
Canada,
eye.
You have to understand, Canada, they've stopped coming to the United States. Most Canadians have seen more of the United States than they have their own country, and they've stopped traveling. So empty flights are coming back to Canada, to the United States. They've boycotted American products completely.
Crazy,
because they feel like Trump is trying to ruin them economically with the tariffs, so that intentionally, once they're just destitute, he can just walk up there and go, well, here, I'm your savior.
It's a crazy game that he's playing, man. First of all,
I don't like
of course you don't like it. Number one, and it's already too late. We're beating a dead cat. But how a man who is well known for bankruptcy being his primary rise to power, from ruining businesses, having terrible business acumen, really about taking advantage of government programs and government policy to enhance and enrich himself. This is the person who is setting policy now. He's playing a burnt earth type of scorched earth economic process. Not only that, he's made it very clear that if you play ball with me, if you decide to be my friend, the tariffs go away. He's playing mafia rules on a global stage. And it's setting such a huge precedent. Like, again, first of all, the United States, the mask has come off on the United States. Now that we got mob boss Donald Trump on it, it's even more coming off. But the man is essentially saying, kiss my ring and I'm going to make it work for you. You don't kiss my ring, it's going to be bad for you.
Things are going to be real tough. Yeah.
You need us more than you. Think about all the global aid. But in most cases, it is true, which is why you see so many nations lining up to kind of be like, yeah, all right, whatever. We're going to make it work. We'll figure out, because they know with Donald Trump, it's all about just kissing his ass.
So
my job.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And my job, my job's connected to Kroger and all type of shit. They're sending 800 more trucks out this week from Mexico than they normally do to beat the tariffs.
Yep.
Yeah, like that shit is real.
Yeah. So I didn't want to get too far away from our original topic, and I didn't mean to steer it towards the issue with Canada. But
we potting, bro.
No, but we were talking about co-opting culture and things like that. And I think, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is a lot of it is based off of your personal experience. So when you're somebody that grows up in a community, you're going to take on the personalities of that community, regardless of what your skin color is. And I can use a lot of white rappers as that example, but I can also use white Jamaicans that sound very Jamaican and speak patois and you would sit there and go, you're like super pale. Why do you sound like that? Well, because that's where they live. That's where they grew up. That's, and so I think a lot of times what happens is people that aren't genuine are the ones that are the problem. People that aren't, as you said, steeped in the culture, primo jab, those are the ones that are the problem. I'm not somebody that grew up in that kind of climate and that kind of environment. So I don't speak that way. That doesn't mean that I'm not a part of hip hop and all of that. And I'm not discounting any of that. But again, it's why I sound the way I sound, because I'm genuinely going to be me. I'm not going to try to be something I'm not. Whereas when you talk to Pounds or when you talk to Snotty or when you talk to, they sound street. They sound part of the culture because they've grown up in it. That's genuinely who they were and are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You remember that white truck driver for Coke used to come back there? He always had a you close your eyes, you swear you're talking to like Cornelius or somebody else. You close your eyes, but that's him. He got black kids. Always Mike Bars. You know who Mike Bars is? Primo Jab.
No,
he's an Asian rapper. That's one of my cousin Mario's best friends. He sounds like Cornelius. You close your eyes because them dudes are actually born and raised. But Carl knows what I'm talking about. I don't even know the guy's name for Coke. But when he opens his mouth, and you look at his sneakers, that dude is certified.
I feel you.
Us. You know what I'm
saying? See, you just said it though also, man. It's like, again, while we keep on talking about this, it's not something that you have to try to do. And it's not something where, there's a certain set way to do it. Like, just like you said, I mean, there could be, for example, there are random dudes that happen to be white dudes that you look at them, they may be dressed kind of preppy. Like there's this picture of this dude, for example, on the internet right now. He has like this Sheriff of Nottingham ass bowl. He's a rapper in Atlanta, and he has
a bowl cut.
Yeah, he got a Super Bowl cut. White dude, and he's surrounded by random goons and everything, and they're not flinching. I mean, it's just he's there, but he obviously his bowl cut. That's not a standard. Like he's not trying to be somebody else. He's being himself, and that's the thing about it. Like if that's who you are, if that's you're yourself, you're genuinely being yourself. It really doesn't matter how you look. It's who you are. It ain't on you. It's in you. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the saying. It's, what I mean? It is what it is. But then also, just to go back again, what we were talking about before, something that I think that you talked on a little bit, Lukey, is code switching. Being able to talk the talk whenever you're in certain situations or certain environments is a survival tool. Just like Carl was saying, like you got to be able to know how to, talk cool when you're at work, maneuver, finesse, whatever you need to do. But at the same time, when you clock out and you go back to wherever you be around and, whoever you around, you talk in your familiar tone. And just like you said, again, code switching a third way, how you talk when you're at home with your family, with your parents or whatever, that's a different thing. So
I think there's a right and wrong part of that though.
What do you mean?
I think code switching when, you're at home and you're yourself and then you go to work and that being 100% yourself is not going to advance your career. It's not going to help you have a decent work day.
Well, yeah, that's a little different.
Then it's important. I think you need to be able to do that to assimilate to what we have as a fucked up society that forces us to do all these things. But when you're code switching, because you're like there again, me code switching from the way I am normally to being on this podcast and just using, hip hop terms and blah, blah, blah becomes disingenuous and they're therefore not necessary. And you know what I mean? Like, I think there are good forms of code switching. I think there are bad forms of code switching.
Well, so again, but what you're talking about though, again, is like, and this is to what Lukey was saying, like, it's all about there's code switching, which is one thing, but then there's also called fucking common sense. There's also called the fact that when you're communicating in society, you have to come to a common ground and know that everybody ain't coming from the same place. So there has to be a common denominator as far as the way you communicate. A societal business standard happens to be people talking, proper, right?
But so I'll go further. So let me give you some examples. So I swear a lot.
See, yeah.
But when I'm at work, I don't swear.
You don't.
It's a conscious effort not to go, "Hey, motherfuckers, what's up?" Right?
Yeah, but that's
because that's not acceptable. Right. Now,
thank you. Yes.
The difference is if I walk into a room and there's a bunch of Asian people, I don't start speaking with an Asian accent.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's like there's
that's common sense.
The common sense, you know, I'm probably not going to use a bunch of slang and swear words at work. That's smart code switching. You should do that. That's intelligent. You get pulled over by the cops. Hey, fuck you, pig, is probably not the best way to approach them. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck 12, like, eat a dick.
But sitting in my house talking to you guys, fuck license. That fucking bacon. Fuck them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Today I tried to talk to the Venezuelan dude. The Venezuelan dude don't speak no English. And so I looked at him and he made a bad call. And I said, you right there. No, you can't. The bad ref. You. No. And everybody started laughing. Yeah, I'm like,
the Venezuelan is the referee?
No, he said the ball was out of bounds. And I said, you can't make that call. And I said, you, right here, you.
Lukey, man, you need to see. That's the other thing. See, Lukey, you gotta understand, bro. Like, I mean, we in America in the 2025, bro. You gotta learn some Spanish, man. Like, I think that's just something.
I mean, come on.
You know, solamente por chicas y cerveza y comida. You know, donde de fiesta, de baño. Ay, coño. You know, like, come on.
AirPods, apple juice.
Oh no! It's not called apple juice. It's called Juego de Manzana, bro.
Fuck, man. My niggas. Yeah, word.
Jugo de Manzana. Lo siento, my Spanish people out there.
What you say about my mama?
What did you say about my mama?
What? Can you talk about my mom?
Nah, man.
My mom.
Nah.
We talking about my mom.
Yeah, baby, that's another thing.
We have a problem?
Do we have a problem? No, see, but that's, again, that, you know, here we go, full circle. This brings us back to being woke. Like, why is it woke to learn pieces of another language if you're encountering people that happen to speak Spanish? I'm not mad at first generation Spanish speakers coming to America and not knowing how to speak English right away. I'm not mad at that. I'm not offended by that. I'm not offended by the government making concessions and conveniences for these people to become citizens in America. What's the problem with that? Not only that, Mexico is right to the south of us. Cuba is right to the south of us. These are Spanish speaking nations.
They don't care.
What the
Texas has whole places that is predominantly speaking Spanish. Don't get me
started on Texicans, bro.
Yeah, but still,
you're talking about people that the people complaining about it are the same people that travel all over the world and expect everybody to speak English.
How come I can't get chicken fingers and a hamburger here? Where's my ranch? Where's my ranch? You guys don't have ranch dressing? Like,
my
what?
Sister,
you're in Luxembourg. Why would you think you have ranch dressing here?
My sister, bless her heart, she said she doesn't want to go to a different country because she doesn't want to eat their food.
Science. Talk that shit, Lukey. Go ahead. Keep going.
So I'm like, I said, Italy. Said Italy, but my sister is very much more Caucasian than African American. If it makes sense.
I know what you mean.
I understand what you're saying. The point, though, is you know, you have to open yourself up to cultures, and you know, one of the things,
but not food.
One of the things I'm really thankful for is growing up in Toronto. I was exposed to a ton of great cultures. My best friend was Chinese Trinidadian.
Oh yeah, like a Chinese Jamaican.
Yeah, so
forgive me, Trinidadians. Yeah.
Well, but you know,
exactly. It was. But you know the difference, Lukey. Good job.
Yeah. What I learned from that was incredible. I mean, you know, and so I think you have to broaden yourself. We can learn so much good and bad from so many other nations and so many other cultures. And yet, you know, so many people want to be myopic. When my dad got married for the third time to his wife, and she's a wonderful woman from Manchester, and they got married in England. And most of my family went over to England for the wedding. And unanimously, anywhere they went, as soon as they heard the accent, they asked, "Are you American?" And they said, "No, we're Canadian." And they went, "Oh, thank God. Okay, cool." Because they hate dealing with Americans.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, that's a fact. I mean, the ugly American is a thing out here.
That's crazy.
It absolutely exists. But Lukey, you just said something, and Carl, you both said something, man. Well, Lukey, the fact that you know the nuances of not calling a Jamaican a Trini and not calling a Trini a Jamaican, and knowing that there's tension for people that like, there's no problem with it. Does not weaken you to become culturally enriched. Like, to Carl's point, it does not serve to your detriment to learn the nuances that exist in cultures and to become knowledgeable about your things and your world in general, because to have that myopic view, to feel like everywhere you go should cater and bend to your Americanism is an absolute
main character.
Yeah, it sucks. It's a stupid mentality. It's a stupid decision. It's a stupid choice. It's a stupid way to live. And it limits you to so much. That's why there's so many English people, UK, British people that are like, oh man, Americans, or Europeans that are like, oh, Americans, great, here you go. Because everybody who, not everybody, but the encounters they've had, Americans come over to Europe and impose their cultural mindset. You know what I mean? Well, it's more than that, but it's their cultural mindset, their behaviors. They expect everywhere they go to be like America, or to think that America is the standard and operates under Americanism.
And it's not like that. The standard. I see.
Well, yeah, not
one of the best taco trucks that's ever been was started by a Korean man. Like, one of the world's best taco trucks was started by a Korean chef. There's nothing wrong with that.
Korean fried chicken is delicious, man. I'll just say that.
But what I'm saying is,
Korean barbecue.
I think, anything that you can learn from another culture and adapt to your own life, I think is enriching you. It's just making you a more well-rounded, more understanding person. And I don't see how that can be a bad thing.
It's not.
People just really, the less you know, the more easy you are to control. And I see on Reddit all the time.
Message.
Reddit be kill the people that are not from America on Reddit always be like killing us. Like they really be like, man, America, you get a gun before you tie your shoes, or
America, I've seen some of those
like
pictures.
This right here. Yeah, when you go to church to pray and get raped, or you like see all this crazy stuff.
Shit, that happens in Italy too.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, the Catholic Church.
That's the
Catholic Church is not just here.
Yeah, that's not America shit.
But they're not talking about
those priests are doing that all over the world.
Humble yourself, Europe, because newsflash.
Yeah, but it's like they really, instead of looking at this, even though we still are the most Googled people on the planet, they still have a perception of us that we're dumb, we're lazy, and we're fat, which sometimes might be true. We're 20th in education. You know what I'm saying? When were we number one? Were we ever number one?
Probably not. I would think not.
I don't think we were.
It would be tough for the United States statistically to be number one in education, just because of the amount of people that we have. Yeah, population.
And how long we've been a country.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors to that. Now, that's not to say that the quality of education that the average American can get and should have access to is not a very high standard compared to some other places in the world.
We still have the best universities in the world. Our elementary school, our middle school, our high schools definitely are under par as an average I will definitely 100% say that.
Yeah, but they're not nationalized.
But there's a reason that people flock from other countries to come to our universities.
Absolutely.
Because we have some of the best universities in the world. So, there's
a reason for that. But keep going, Carl. I got something to say about that.
And I'm not going to sit here and hate on the United States, because there's a reason I came to the United States.
I wouldn't hate on it. I'm from here. I live here.
I will say that it's changed a lot in the 35 years that I've been in this country. When I first came here, Americans didn't take shit from anybody. And it certainly seems like we take shit from everybody now. And I'm not talking necessarily other countries. I'm just talking like our government, shit that flies now would never have flown in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s. We've been placated by social media and blinded and led into these little channels and separated so neatly and then pitted against each other, which there again, old tactics,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Carl, the one thing I wanted to add on to that, the reason that our university systems or our universities tend to have such a higher quality of offerings is because of the amount of resources that have been poured into them. Mm-hmm. It's not by accident that these schools have huge endowments that are funding the ability to bring in teaching talent to provide a curriculum to people that will allow them to compete on the world stage. And not only that, to create the next leaders and the next, assholes also that exist. All of that comes from the fact it's about access to resources. Mm-hmm. And again, like you said, people are coming to America because the opportunity to get paid in America and to make something of yourself is there. It exists, and it's not the access to entry is not as restrictive as I hearken to say 90% of the world. You know what I mean? Like you can gamble and win in America. It's been proven generation after generation. It's been proven, and that's why people come here, man. I mean, the American dream is a thing, and it's unfortunate that there are people that feel threatened by the idea of other people having an opportunity to make something of themselves. You know what I mean? It's whack, man. It's very sad.
It is, but here's a problem with some Americans right now. Like I said before, some of them are fat, some of them are lazy. And so do you have people that come from different countries, you know what I'm saying, come over here hungry, and they want to make something out of themselves. That's what, Mr. Andrews. Carl, remember Mr. Andrews?
Yep.
Like he always would hate on Americans to me, talking about, look, someone came over here and blah, blah. Mr. Andrews is African. So he came over here, got a job, got 2 jobs. This person has
worked for 4 years. He was from like Ghana or somewhere, right?
Yeah, I forget. Yeah. But he's been there for a while.
Ghanaians.
They sold cars, was in management and stuff like that. And you see in Springfield, where the Haitians were there, they talked about how like the Haitians come to work. The other people weren't coming to work. They had drug habits. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't come to work. And the Haitians came to work and they weren't on drugs. And you see that in my hometown. Yeah, you see people that are drug addicts, that are drunks, not going to work. You know what I'm saying? And it's just happening a lot of places where we are oversexed, overdrugged, and not working. It is not just black people anymore. I mean, it's out here. I say anymore because that was the genuine the general consensus that black people were lazy and not working on welfare. But
that was targeted, though.
Yeah, that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. Narrative.
But there was more people on welfare, white people on welfare. Yeah, but now you see it, and when all these people are addicted to opioids and meth and pills and whatever, you see it everywhere. People not going to work. Then the immigrants come over here and they're willing to work, and we have a problem now. Word. So the world is.
I think there's two main problems. One of them is, obviously a lot of this stuff is systemic and has been forced on the Black community. But, really it's been forced on the economically challenged, regardless of your race. Yes, the other problem is it's not reported when it's white people. They don't talk about it near as much when it's white people. It's only if we can vilify Black people that it'll make the news, and that tends to be a trend and has been. So, we've always had white trailer parks. We've always had, people from all races in socioeconomic challenged areas, but they're not the ones that make the news all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my hometown is definitely 90% white, and you go down Main Street and you see tweakers and people walking on the track, and they gotta call security to get them off the track because they're tweaking. And and they say my town is super poor, but I never saw it like that until I go back now and see. When Cash Money was taking over for the 99 2000, someone having a rough time. Yeah, word. Like, you see me, I'm 42, looking good as fuck. Some of my constituents was having a rough time when Juvenile was backing that ass up and wobbly. They was.
But you look at the difference between how many people are poor in America versus how many people are living well, like upper middle class and better.
Yeah.
And then tell me that's just people of color. It's not. It's way too high a percentage to just be people of color. And there are plenty of people of color that are wildly successful and live in that upper middle class as well. So, it's definitely, it's an issue of rich versus poor, but it makes it a lot easier. And, I think I've said this before, but, the reason that Italians and Irish that were slaves back in the United States when slavery was a thing, were treated differently was solely so that they could separate themselves from the Blacks. And it was the bosses that were doing this. They were treating groups better so that they wouldn't gang up, because
the bosses,
all of my slaves hating me is trouble. But all of my slaves hating each other is just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's no different. All of these things are still happening today. It's just the rich versus the poor. And so if we're all poor, if I'm poor, you're poor, he's poor, and we're all hating each other, then the rich people can just giggle and laugh while they're just making more money.
Message.
My thing is this right here. How can you be 600 pounds and not be poor? Back in the day, like feudalism and stuff like that, being fat was there you go. But back in the day, being fat was a sign of wealth. You know what I'm saying?
You're consuming a lot of resources to become that big, to have such a size.
Yes.
And look, I'm not trying to fat sham. I'm saying, like the girl with the lift lawsuit. I'm not trying to fat sham. It's just when you get to that certain size,
I hope she loses.
Something got to happen. She lost.
I think she lost that lawsuit. Yeah.
Awesome. Good. She deserves to lose.
She didn't lose.
Respectfully, go to the gym.
She didn't lose any weight.
Respectfully, go to the gym. No fat shaming. Just like, come on, man. Come on, get a grip, man. Like, what makes you think that's cool? What makes you think that, and this, again, I'm not trying to body shame. I don't want to be that guy. But when you're talking about that, Lukey, it takes a lot of resources to achieve such a size. At what point do you fucking wake up one morning and you just say, well, fuck it. I mean, I might as well keep going. You know what I mean? Like, when are you going to say stop it? How are you going? Why do you expect the rest of the world to bend and accommodate you for the poor decision that you're making?
Well, and there again, we've been tricked. We've been duped. So instead of working out the reason that somebody overeats and would allow them to get to a point where you're unhealthy, that it's difficult to move. It's when you get to a certain weight, your joints take on so much. your life expectancy drops, not just because you're putting a strain on your heart, but also all of your body parts.
Yep,
you know, and all of these things are ridiculously dangerous to the longevity of your life, yet people do it. And instead of worrying about the mental health issue that causes that, we glorify it and say, you know what, we shouldn't body shame. We should have, supermodels that are
no, we should not. No, we should not.
And there again, I will tell you, there's a difference between like Queen Latifah, who is not a thin woman, but she was very beautiful and carried herself incredibly well. I don't think you have to be rail thin. I think it's gross.
No,
but there's a difference between being full figured and being unhealthy.
And being obesely unhealthy. Absolutely. Like, look, everybody's not built the same. It is what it is. And I'm not expecting every woman or every man to fit into a certain archetype as far as being a person. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, for example, Buff Styles, Chubbs, them some big motherfuckers, right? Mm-hmm. They big, they burly,
they just
husky.
Ain't gonna be skinny.
It is what it is, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I'm not honoring the super extra huge supermodel who wants body positivity, who has to buy 3 seats on an airline and is mad that she has to buy 3 seats and feels like that's discrimination. No, it's not. That's called you lack discipline.
That's period. There's mathematics and measurement. I don't.
Yeah. The fact that you need, like, that should have been your wake up call. I talk to people like that in my line of work. I talk to people honestly like that often. People who are like, well, yeah, you need to tell me the dimensions of the room because I'm kind of a big person and usually rooms are set up to discriminate against us. No, it's not. It's not a chicken and the egg type of situation. The room isn't set up to personally discriminate against you or your quote unquote community. Being a big fat person is not a community. You're not a special interest group. All right. You're a person with poor habits. And this is the woke thing. This is where the backlash to the woke thing came from. Mm-hmm. Again, full circle. Here we go again. Because every interest group had to be represented. Accommodations need to be made for every specific group. Whatever percentage of the population you are. And people were like, man, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Here's what happens. It opens it up for idiots like pedophiles who go, well, never. We're
all chomos must die.
We're a special interest as well. And it's like, no. Those are bad choices. You're making fucking choices.
You're making terrible decisions. Well, no, this is how I feel. Well, okay. How I feel is that you deserve to be beat upon. Shout out those YouTube channels where they catch predators and stuff.
Yes, those are great.
Shout out Big Trip.
Shout out Big Trip. Slap the shit
out of them. Yeah, shout out.
We love watching those things. But yeah, that's not a thing, man. Like, it's like not having self-control is not grounds, and that goes across various things, whether you're a child molester, whether you're an obese person. Not having self-control is not acceptable for me to make any sort of considerations to you. It's not.
Yeah.
And I refuse to do that.
Before we transition, no trans, no homo, no stay woke. Before we transfer something, shout out to the fat motherfucker Benjamin that's been a bitch because he had fat back.
He is a big back motherfucker. Fight a curve, Benjamin.
I think there's a curve waiting for him somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And Coach Steve. Yeah,
fuck Coach Steve.
Yeah, he said he got a fat back.
Fuck that whole team.
Yeah, fuck the whole team, man. Words. Yeah, shout out to Cortez, my guy.
That's hilarious.
Free Cortez.
Kanye's got some wild shit. Kanye's in Snellville. I mean, Kanye.
They kind of close to each other.
Close.
Yeah, but
close-ish.
That's where the dude stole $1 million from Kroger too. Remember that shit?
Conyers.
What?
Stole $1 million from Kroger.
Was that buddy who was making the overpayments and getting himself paid?
And the lottery shit. Yeah,
bro. Hey man,
he bought the gun.
I have seen some wild schemes going on that make me question if my morality is standing in the way of my prosperity.
It
is. Joe, I've seen some people out here hitting some crazy fucking licks. And I'm like, damn, man, like, you know, lick, if I didn't carry myself a little higher, then I mean,
okay, but you're hearing about them, right? You're hearing about them, right? And why are you hearing about them? Because they got caught.
Exactly.
So I used to say this thing to employees when I'd hire them at Kroger. I'd be going through the handbook and I would talk about theft. And I would say, you know, 60% of all theft comes internally. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I'm warning you now that, you know, if you decide that you're going to steal from the company, there's a high likelihood you're going to get caught. And I'll tell you, it's grabbing a chicken tender off of the deli line. It's, you know, taking a Coke because you forgot your wallet. It turns into grabbing a couple packs of cigarettes when someone isn't looking, and, you know, trying to hide a 12 pack in the garbage so that your homie can, you know what I mean? And I said, I'll tell you my personal policy on it. And I said this to every new employee I hired. My personal policy, I'm not going to steal unless it's going to be worth me stealing. And I know I can get away with it. And I'm not that smart. So, I mean, you can get fired over some chicken tenders. Or I saw a manager get fired drinking a cup of coffee, standing in line, getting ready to pay for it.
What?
But he was drinking it before he paid for it, and that's against the policy. And
because he didn't pay for it.
They wanted him gone. They want you gone.
But he gave him the grounds to be able to get him
You've
gone.
opened yourself up to that.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're cool, they ain't gonna do it. Shout out Mr. Swearinger.
Oh God, that guy.
Yeah.
Talk about obese.
Yeah, he had to ride around on a riding cart being the whole manager of the store because he tore. He tore. Yeah, he was fat as fuck, bro.
Well, he tore it because he was fat, and they were forcing him to walk around.
Yeah, bro. That's how I remember that. I vaguely remember you went to the management program shortly thereafter. After I was at that store because we both knew Swearinger.
Yeah.
So I think I saw you like probably like 2 weeks.
I was in that store for 2 weeks, and he never said a word to me. I only saw him twice because he would spend all his time up in the office
upstairs.
And after 2 weeks, I walked up to his office. I knocked on his door, and he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Hi, I'm Carl. I've been your assistant meat manager for 2 weeks. I just figured maybe it was time that I got to actually shake your hand and tell you hello." Like, and I shouldn't have to do that.
Today, Carl.
Like crazy.
Today? Can you bring me some
red on you?
Yeah.
Yo, it's Swearinger. Someone else I'm gonna say. Oh, no, the homie Reese. Well, he's not the homie, man. Reese got fired for stealing $20,000 from Kroger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's a gay man, and
that's not why he got fired.
Nah, not why he got fired.
That had nothing to do with the story.
He got fired.
That's like me going the other day. This black guy. Did the story have anything to do with the fact that he was a black guy? No.
But here's the story. Here's like I knew Reese was. I always figured he was gay. I figured he went with somebody in the store, but we there was rumors. But he got caught making out with a dude with a machine gun tattooed on his face in the fucking
He was a wild dude anyway, though.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, how you making out with these straight niggas? Then the homie said,
I knew Reese.
The homie said, "Hey, yo, they ain't straight. They making out with Maurice." I'm like, yeah, you're right. That nigga's gay. Yeah, that nigga.
That's a fact.
Why you out in the open making out with him? Like, that's
I'm
horrible.
not gay. I just like to fuck men in the ass. What?
Yeah, that's wild. And that's when the homie.
Not me. I was just using that as an example.
I just marked that. It's a clip now.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. No shout out to Bussy, yo. No shout out to Bussy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but
hey, hold on. Oh, go ahead, Carl. Go ahead, Lukey.
That's what you into. That's what you into. I like to shout out.
Hey, man, go ahead, man. That's what you into. Whatever,
the Cream song.
I am not into
Montana.
that. Tag that, Carl.
Nah. Breeze Montana dropped some cool shit lately. La Cream, that's a hot ass video. You know what I'm saying? Let's give praise to Pac of the Plug.
Yes.
Shout out Pac of the Plug, man. Yes.
No homo.
Yes.
I had a butt plug. Anyway, shout out to
the plug.
No one was even thinking about that, bro. Like his name is Paca the Plug. Like
he's the hookup.
Like
he's the hookup. He's the plug.
I gotta send you to Pause Detox, man. Like you gotta go.
Yo, man.
I mean, program.
I'm the square Canadian here, and I know what a plug is.
Yeah,
right. Yo, like what's wrong with you?
Stay woke, no homo. I need that shirt.
I'll make you one.
Stay woke, no homo.
That might be a hot shirt, honestly. That might be a crazy shirt. That would people's minds would explode. Like what?
Stay woke. Stay woke. Pause. Stay woke. Pause. That'd be probably better than no homo. Anyway,
it has to be no homo. Yeah, it has to be no homo. Yeah. I'm making that shirt now. I'll have you one in a week.
Has to be.
Yeah, that's crazy, yo. That's crazy. Champion. Hey, yo, boom. I'm gonna wear that shit. Paul. Anyway, shout out to Packer. We put everybody on the good, great music. Phoebe on there this week. A lot of motherfucking good shit. Also, real quick.
Now we're gonna talk about some music. Great. Let's talk about some music.
We're gonna get off here. We've been on here for a while.
Yeah, we've been on for a little while.
So what, man? Let's talk about some music. We still got some things to talk about.
I want to talk about one thing real quick. And just get off it real quick. You know what I'm saying? My beloved All Guns, No Butter. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, shout him out.
I don't know that I can be a part of this conversation.
Hey, yo. If something's going on with one of our beloveds, it's for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
He calls shit out.
No, yeah, he does. But there's something going on. It will be rectified. You know what I'm saying? I like All Guns, No Butter, but I love my homie. You know what I'm saying? I wish I'd be a better friend. You know what I'm saying? And I don't call hardly nobody, but yeah. Boom,
I have faith in our friend as well. But I will say this: All Guns, No Butter is kind of the Hawkeye. He doesn't miss. I mean, it's not an unfair statement. I'm sure there's a lot that people don't know, but from the outside looking in, that did seem like a pretty fair shot. I'm not going to hate on All Guns, No Butter for making it.
True indeed. And he has to get to the culture. But but if something happened, it's for a very good reason. That motherfucker has not. It's for a very good reason.
Yeah, it's definitely not a malicious thing. He's no El Camino. You know what I mean?
No.
Like it ain't.
No.
I don't think that one bit. In Sep we trust, man. Let's just be put all the cards on the table. In Sep we trust. I'm still rocking with my man.
Yeah.
But all that shit, All Guns, No Butter is funny. When he say funny shit, it's funny, bro.
It is.
It's funny. It's funny because it was true.
But I'd 100% put my name on the fact that there's no way that Sep ever intended for this to go this way. And
I don't think so.
Sometimes people deal with shit that you have no idea what they're dealing with. And
absolutely,
a lot of people would say communicate, and I can't argue with that at all. But I can also say sometimes you don't want to talk about that shit, and it's nobody else's business what's going on. It just sucks. So.
Yeah, sometimes life gets like invincible. You know what I'm saying? Word. Y'all watch that shit?
Wow. Yeah, Invincible's the shit.
You watch
I haven't. I need to.
It's the shit.
It's fucked up, man. You watch The Boys, right?
Right. Yeah, I watched The Boys.
It's on the same level as fucked up. I think it might be a little more fucked up.
It's animated. It's superhero shit with consequences. That's all it is. It's like real life effects of superhero shit. Like, a giant superhero battle takes place in a city. Yeah, a bunch of people died. And there's repercussions to that shit. You know what I mean? It's ugly out there.
Last season. Carl, you'll love this shit. It's based on a comic book. Doing a good job. Like it. Vulture mics ain't shit, bro. They change it up a little bit, which is fair. And it has some weird shit in there, but they're really doing a good job with these, I guess we would say, B-rate comic books and actually bringing them to life. And
Invincible a very good. I'm about to read the book now. I really want to read the comic book now based off of the show. Like the show makes me want to read the comic book.
Mm-hmm. It's like they fucked up The Boys, but they kind of made it better. Black Noir is basically Homelander. And
he's a clone.
He's a
clone of Homelander. On the show is not.
Sometimes you have to do that and because I haven't read it, I can't tell you, whether it's justified or not. But sometimes things don't play out in 1 hour episodes the same way it would in a comic. Sometimes a story arc has to go differently because you're getting different feedback from your viewership than you were during readership. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that they can kind of adapt things differently. I don't think I ever really hate on anybody for changing or adapting something. I try to take any of that stuff as its own separate entity, even though it's based on a comic. The Watchmen was very different in some ways than the comic book.
I hate the majority of the X-Men movies because I love the X-Men, and I feel like they were all pretty much 9 out of 10 of those movies, however many came out, sucked.
Yeah, they were the advantage to Marvel though is the multiverse. You that
was a whole different world. That doesn't matter anymore. Great.
Yeah, I mean, it was like that with the Spider-Mans. Like, in some of them he's got to build web shooters, and some of them his power has webs. And,
but that's amazing, spectacular. It's the same thing.
Well, yeah, but because those are all different Earths.
Yep,
it's not 616.
Right.
What is both of you guys, what is your favorite comic book movie?
Iron Man. The first one.
The first one?
Yep.
Man, I watched that shit 8 times in the movie theater, yo.
So
I swear to God.
I will tell you, and like, I really, there were a lot of pivotal moments, I think, in superhero movies. Like, I saw the first Superman movie when it came out, and loved it. It was the best superhero movie that and I grew up with the Hulk TV show with Lou Ferrigno and Wonder Woman and the 1960s Batman series and all those kind of things. So I had seen the cheesy and the corny, and I had seen serious attempts at drama and different things. When that first Iron Man movie came out, there was just something so perfect about everything. And I think from casting, from writing, from direction, soundtrack, the whole movie just, I loved it. And, I've been a big fan of the Batman series movies. The first 89 Batman movie with Michael Keaton, one of my favorites. The latest one, The Batman, with Patterson. I really like that movie. I thought it was probably in my top 3, maybe top 4 of Batman movies that's been out.
I gotta check it out.
But there's just something special about that Iron Man movie. I loved it. I loved it so fucking much. I'm gonna have to watch it again now.
Well, I really enjoyed seeing him put the armor on and Jarvis really fucking up, putting it on. Yeah, that shit was amazing.
Just him coming out of the cave in the fashion one that he made, and just fucking people up with it. Fucking flamethrower on one arm.
That was cool.
Could barely do much of anything with it, but it was this. It showed everything about Tony Stark's intelligence and his grit and determination.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And seeing Stark weapons being used, and his whole point of becoming Iron Man wasn't to be a superhero. It was to get all of his weapons back and make the people pay that were using his designs and things that he made in horrible ways. And that was his whole motivation for it.
Yeah, and he kept on drinking.
Yeah,
like you see him with a glass.
Yeah, those comics got dark.
Demon in a bottle.
Demon in a bottle. Yeah, Demon in a bottle.
Yeah, it's just funny. Jad, what you got? What's some of your favorite comic book movies?
I love Blade. Blade was a great one.
We just watched that. The first one.
Well, the first 2 were great. The third one was kind of
cheesy,
kind of weirdish.
I still liked it. I mean, Ryan Reynolds
Reynolds was kind of like,
yeah. We just watched the trilogy, and I did because we're hoping that a new one will come out.
Yeah, you have to watch all 3 of them. But the first, Blade was a great.
But the first one, that club scene with the blood splattering coming down,
was great. I think that it was like Carl said earlier, it was a good adaptation. It may not have been 100% on point of a comic book or whatever, but it was cool for what it was worth. And I think it was a great representation. Also, to co-sign Carl, I've loved pretty much all the Batman that have come out, except for, I think, The only one I didn't like was like Clooney Batman.
Oh, Clooney Batman.
Which one?
Yeah, the one with Clooney in it with Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Batman and Robin, and the one with Val Kilmer I wasn't a fan of at all.
Yeah, I don't think I liked that one either. But I
liked both of the Michael Keatons. I love the Christian Bales.
Christian Bale Batman. I love all the Christian Bale Batmans.
I will tell you the Patterson one, because you haven't seen it. It is not your typical Batman movie. It is much more a noir crime.
Yeah, I've heard
detective kind of. And for me, one of the greatest aspects of Batman in the comics was always the detective part. Was him solving the crimes. You know, he'd kick ass, great, but it was him putting pieces together and utilizing resources to figure out what was the next step and get ahead of somebody. And the new movie captures that in a really good way.
Okay. All right. I'm going to check it out. I liked Spawn when it first came out, the first Spawn.
Great movie. I liked
the Spawn animated series. I thought that was great. You know, that
was John Leguizamo too.
Yeah.
His role was amazing in that.
Michael Jai White. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Spawn was a great adaptation of the comic book to a movie. They did what they could do with the effects at the time, and it didn't look too cheesy. You know, it was decent.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I also, like you said, man, I was a fan of probably Superman 1, 2. The only Superman I think I didn't like or I thought was kind of corny was Superman 5 when they went, through the nukes into Nuke Man and Sun Man and all that silly shit. Like, but everything else was kind of pretty cool. I loved Superman Part 2 with Richard Pryor in it. Yep. That was the shit.
Yes.
I loved that movie.
That was fantastic.
And I love Superman Part 3 with the with Zod and all of them. That shit was great.
As a
kid,
was it 3 that he flew around the world so fast?
No, that was 1. That was Superman 1.
No.
Yeah. That was Superman 1 when he flew. Yeah, when he flew backwards around the world to try to save Lois from the earthquake.
That shit.
That was Superman Part 1.
Yeah, that. If he did that,
was when he tested his powers.
The whole world be fucked up.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh no, I'm going to stop this earthquake. Superman flew around the world in reversed polarity. The whole world died.
Yeah.
But no, or even if he was successful, then why haven't you done that for all these other tragic things that are happening?
You could have done this a lot of times.
Every day he's just flying around backwards, backwards.
Oh shit!
Becomes Groundhog Day with Bill Murray.
Yeah, he just realizes that the world is fucked up. He's like, I just got to keep flying backwards. Superman has now become another ring around the planet Earth because every day some fucked up shit happens.
We're just frozen in time.
Yeah, he's hey, hold on, man. Like, guys, can we talk about some music? Is that cool?
Hold on, we're about to get off here, though.
Cool? No, man, we ain't got to get off yet.
Yeah, we got to get off here. We've been on here for an hour and a half.
So what, that, right? Man? It's just us, man. We ain't got to stay for another hour. I'm just saying, man. I want to talk about some music, man. We got to talk about some music, man.
We'll talk about a little bit of music before we get off here.
Just a little bit.
I got to go with my music, my shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a song called I got Superman flying about the earth in reverse or some shit like that. I ain't put it out ever, but boom. Yeah, but Dark Knight, Joker was in that shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Heath Ledger.
Winter Soldier. Joker. Yeah, that was amazing. He was amazing.
Oh yeah. Man,
shout out the Olsen twins.
Shout out the Avengers. The Avengers was a good movie too. I really liked Avengers, and I liked Endgame and
the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier was great. Fight scenes.
Yeah,
the fight scenes with him and Bucky. Holy shit, they were really doing some amazing.
I really loved the new 3 Spider-Man movies.
Same. I like Spider-Man too. Absolutely, definitely like Spider-Man.
I think Tom Holland was great.
Well
yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Very well done movies.
But I think my favorite movie, comic movie, even though Carl already touched on it, that it was kind of fucked up. The Watchmen. I just love watching that movie over and over again. That's a great movie. But yeah, V Vendetta and Watchmen, but they're both Alan Moore.
Yep.
Movies. Or Alan Moore, yeah. So I didn't think nobody could do. I was waiting for him to do Akira in live action. They already did Ninja Scroll.
I don't want to see Akira live action.
What is it? They did. What's the girl? Shit.
Battle Angel Alita.
Nah, not a Battle Angel. It was man, Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. Yeah.
And that was pretty cool looking, but then everything started looking like Ghost in the Shell. But anyway, let's talk some music.
Yo, thank you. I just want to send special shouts out to the producer of the year thus far. And I hate to, be so presumptuous. Here we are at April 1st. But shout out Machacha, man. Machacha has been going crazy all fucking year, putting out a lot of crazy shit. He teamed up with Eddie Kane. He teamed up with Vega just recently. He teamed up with Josiah. He teamed up with Water. And every project has been poison. Has been poison. Yep. I mean, he has not missed.
He's on pace to hit the same number or better than he did last year, which was ridiculous because it was like 13 albums.
The man has not missed. This new Vega that just came out, I don't know if y'all have heard it.
Yes.
But I love it. Yes. I fucking love it. I think it's probably, I said it last year when he put out albums. It seemed like every time he put out an album, I was like, no, this is my favorite one. I mean,
isn't that the way it should be?
Yeah, and you're right. You're right, Carl. But Mount Maudit to me was like a special album. But then, last year he put out a bunch of albums. But Vega, the new Vega Machacha, the Ghost Orchid, oh my God. It's such a dope album, bro. Vega is feeling very comfortable as an MC right now. And as a person from Queens, as an MC from Queens, here we go. Like, because I think a lot of times when people talk about Vega or they think about Vega, they think of him as this esoteric, rippity rapper, whatever they call lyrical miracle. Yeah, type of dude, whatever.
They call it yap rap.
Yeah,
the young kids call it.
I don't know what they call it, man. Fuck the kids, man. I don't care what they got to say. But look, yeah, whatever, man. Yo, Vega, he shut down any of that type of talk to me personally on this album of him being a niche, one trick pony type dude, because this album that he made, it is so lyrically vibrary of a Queens MC that it fits in with anything that could have came out from a Nas, Akinyele, Royal Flush, Mobb Deep, any of them shouting out Queens. It's one of them. And then Machacha and Water. Oh my God. They made, Almighty Part 2 from Water is a super Chicago ass album on the same, Water being a dude from the crib from Chicago, that, people from Chicago call Chicago the crib. But it's like,
we didn't talk about him enough last year either.
I did.
I know you did. I know you did.
Yeah. No, but I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I think a lot of people, I'm hoping that a lot more people really start respecting what Water does, because his vibe is, that's a Chicago dude. If you ever wanted to know what a Chicago person is, like, Water is spitting like a Chicago dude, a Chicago average Joe. That's who he is, man. And that the project they just put out was super crazy. Almighty Part 2 is super Chicago. He got this, you remind me of a G, like, talking about like some R. Kelly lines, just all types of Chicago crib shit, little mentions in there.
Gotta peep it.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, you gotta peep it if you ain't peeped it. And then, we talked about it a little bit. But Danielson, the Estes Method. Oh my God. That album is insane. It's insane. There's so much quality music for this, because this episode comes out April 1st.
Right.
For it to just be April 1st.
April Fools.
And April Fools, you a fool if you think hip hop is dead. You a fool if you don't think there's no motion going on down here in the abyss, because there is so much good music happening right now, man. So much. Oh. You could throw a stick and you can hit a dope tape. Yeah, man. So I didn't want this episode to progress without touching upon some dope music and shouting out some dope projects that are out. because it's a lot of dope shit out, man. Period. It's a lot of dope shit. Yeah. And if you shout out 8 Ball Broadway for playing What the Sound Smell Like the other day.
What?
Because that's a dope album too. In case shameless self plug. You ain't gonna hear it very often, but yeah, What the Sound Smell Like. If you ain't heard it, go check it out.
Super dope.
Yeah. Good. Definitely shout out to Vega, Lil Owen, and all them niggas over there. I don't think Vega. Me having my musical palette the way I do, I don't see him as like a yap rap. I just see the nigga is spitting. Like he is spitting. And it's a powerful voice, a powerful delivery, a different delivery, and I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So shout out to everybody who came out with music. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to our brother podcast, Stephen All Time. He had Josiah.
Yeah, they had they sure did, man. Mm-hmm. Sure did. Saya, man. What's up, man?
I'm boycotting Lord Owen until he gives me a record.
Oh yeah.
That dude is way too fucking talented to not give me some fucking music. I deserve
Lord Owen, when you go put some product out, Lord Owen.
That dude's so fucking fire. That dude has fucking amazing bars. His delivery is fantastic. Everything I hear him on is just crazy great. Yeah. Freestyles like a champ. Yeah. And yet, where are my records, dude? Where are my records? Ginger Brother, come on. Where are my records?
Ginger Brother.
Ginger Brother.
That'd be a great record name. Ginger Brother, yeah. What else we got, fellas?
Oh, I got something else too. I got something else we were talking
Free
about,
Cortez.
Man. Here we go. Yeah. Shout out, first and foremost, man. Free Cortez, man. Benjamin, you been a bitch. But anyway, here we go, man. So we were talking about. Let's talk about immigration and immigrants. I got one more thing before we, full circle to go back there. These incidents that happen to be happening in America right now, where Teslas are being destroyed and Tesla dealerships are being destroyed. I just wanted to throw out a hot take. I'm cool with Tesla dealerships being destroyed and vandalized and all that. Hey, whatever, man. That's a part of the game, Elon. That's what happens when you're a Nazi lame fuck. Sorry, your products get destroyed. But I'm not cool with average Joe American who happens to own a Tesla getting their car fucked up. Now, unless their car has a giant swastika on it or says 88, on the side or some crazy thing like that, if you know, I mean, if it has outward signs of, scumbaggery, hey, it's fair game. But I'm not with just the average, neckbeard dude who happens to be an engineer at, Intel or something. And he wanted to get a Cybertruck, and next thing you know, he comes outside and there's shit smeared all over his car. Like, that's not cool. Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, that's not cool, though. Let the motherfuckers live, man.
I will say, and I'm certainly not defending it. I agree wholeheartedly with you. I do know that there are a lot of people who have hated Elon Musk long before he was throwing Nazi salutes.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of people that feel like he just rides the backs of other people and whatever.
Like the Tesla company, for example, because he did not invent Tesla.
Well, I am told us that.
Right.
He acquired Tesla.
Right.
Never
forget. And from what I understand, to me that doesn't matter so much. But I do know that there's been a long list of people that have hated Elon Musk for a long time.
Yeah.
And so people that have supported Elon Musk tend to get into their radar, and that's why they get so kind of into it. And I again, you're talking about somebody's personal property. A lot of people that bought Teslas were people that were left wing, woke people that were trying to be good for the environment.
Full circle.
Trying to be good for the environment and end up supporting, a guy throwing Nazi salutes. So,
but not only that, here's another thing, Carl, and I don't mean to interrupt you. Little did they know, or maybe they did know and they didn't care, but green technology such as electric cars has furthered neocolonialism and is a part of the conflicts in places such as the Congo,
yes,
where you see people being ran out of their homes and massacred so that rebel groups can take control over these valuable minerals, which are used to fuel the technological boom of the colonized world.
And people are mining those with babies strapped to their backs in horrible conditions and slave conditions, being forced to work. And, you're dealing with a resource that's extremely limited and extremely difficult to get. And yet, people are just like, oh yeah, let's just all get electric cars, and we're going to mandate that you have to have electric cars. It's as bad for the environment, if not worse. At least pulling oil, they're not using slave labor for it.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it destroys the worth.
But these are the same people that are posting on an iPhone, and iPhones are made with slave labor too. So
that's a fact.
How woke are we really?
That's woke.
Napping. We're napping. We're napping. That's why when the term woke was used for like the spiritual awakening, it was okay. And now you go to other dynamics of it, and there's so much stuff laced in there. It broadened it. It just didn't make any sense. And that's one of the reasons why I was mad at it. I was like, what? Yeah. That doesn't even mean that shit.
I mean, can you be a consumerist? Can you be somebody a consumerist and be woke? You know what I mean? Like, can you exist in the world
at the first term
and not interact with the world? Like
the first iteration, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
the first iteration, yes.
Yeah, you're right, Lukey.
The other types, no,
because at a certain point, see, like we've been talking about, again, full circle, it was co-opted, and not only was it co-opted, it was turned into something. Hey, we can make money off of this. Oh, you want to save the earth? You want to be woke? Buy a Tesla. Aha.
The lithium battery, destroying the earth with a lithium battery, it causes a lot of shit. That
doesn't make sense. You're not supporting these companies, these gas companies, these multi-billion-dollar conglomerates. You're
supporting somebody else.
You're supporting these small.
Tesla's a good vehicle.
These small companies.
Tesla's a good vehicle.
You're helping hey, look, and there's the other stat. Like, look, your lifetime cost when you buy a Tesla, because my man got a Tesla. He got two of them actually. And, you're not paying for brakes. You're not paying for oil changes. You're not paying for gas. Your power bill goes up by $7 per month. That's about it. The only thing you do is you buy tires every 50,000 miles. That's the only cost associated with the Tesla. That's it.
Well, and replacing the batteries if the batteries go bad, which would be super expensive.
When the battery goes bad. But that, and the battery
it's hard to dispose the battery as well.
20 years supposedly. Right. So if you weigh out the cost of it over usage, the cost isn't that bad. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy thought puzzle trap that you go down when you start becoming woke, because it's it's crazy. Yeah, fake woke, however you want to call it.
I wanted to tie this into my earlier statements about agreeing with you about personal property. If you bought a Cybertruck, you deserve to have shit smeared on that. That is the ugliest motherfucking truck ever.
It looks like Tomb Raider. Remember Tomb Raider titties? That's what it looked like.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were square.
Shit. No, they weren't square. They was triangles.
They came out to points.
Yeah, triangle titties.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was triangles. But
here it was like.
I tell you what, though, you deserve it, but I bet you they ain't gonna smear shit on 2 Chainz Cybertruck that's all Forgiato'd out. Ain't nobody fucking up. No, I guarantee, Carl.
Where's he at?
Nobody is smearing shit or assaulting a Forgiato'd rimmed, luxury wrapped Cybertruck that is clearly owned by a motherfucker who don't give a fuck. I guarantee that ain't happening.
Where's he at?
Carl, I don't want to go to your funeral, man.
I really, the inside of the Tesla truck looks amazing. The outside, It's not.
I think it's a piece of bullshit, personally. It's what were they saying in the beginning? It looks like the cars that we all used to draw in elementary school, or when we were 2 years old. It looks
do you
like
remember?
that.
Do you remember the little box, the wood block cars that like
soapbox?
Well, yeah, and we used to get like these kits when I was in like the
Pinewood Derby.
Yeah, it wasn't the Boy Scouts in Canada; it was the Cub Scouts. But yeah, we'd get these blocks of wood and tires, or like wheels and axles, and then you could carve it and cut it however you wanted to make it aerodynamic or whatever. And everybody used to just chop the front of it. Yeah, just it was just that was it. Just this block and that's basically what a Cybertruck looks like.
It is. That's what it is, man. It's hilarious, man.
If someone gave me one, I'd still drive that hoe. I can't front. They gave me one.
Yeah, shit, you ain't gonna spend no money on it.
I would sell it, and then I would find the person I sold it to, and I'd smear shit on it.
So to be clear, Carl, you want to smear? You're pro smearing shit on Cybertrucks.
In fact, I would wrap it for 2 Chainz, sell it to 2 Chainz at a discount. And then smear shit on it. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, all right. I like it, man. And that's why they want to get you out of America, Canadian.
Oh, Lord, man. Please, no. Before we get out of here, what's going to happen is I'm going to go to one of these events.
Canadian, see?
Here's how we're going to get Elon Musk.
Them degenerate immigrants.
They're a danger to America.
Here's how we're going to get Elon. We're going to put a little baggies of ketamine. Man. We're gonna put little baggies. We're gonna put little baggies of ketamine on the ground, like a little trail. He's gonna be like, "Oh, ketamine! Oh, ketamine! Oh, ketamine! Oh, ketamine!" Then they're gonna beat him up. They're gonna beat him up, yo. Oh,
he's gonna float. Mookie. He's gonna turn his nose into a vacuum cleaner and be like.
I just pictured him like one of those dipping birds. But he's just dipping for the ketamine. Just ketamine. Ketamine.
Guy, man. Oh, yo, man. Fuck him, man.
And then he's gonna look up. He's gonna be Carl. And he's gonna have shit in it. Carl's gonna have shit in it. No, Carl's gonna have shit in his hand.
A bag of shit and just smear it on him. Like, take that, fucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a weirdo. But anyway, yo, I hope y'all enjoyed this motherfucking episode. If not, y'all kiss my ass.
I did.
Yeah, true indeed, man. And y'all remember out there always, fuck Mike Green and fuck Benjamin because he been a bitch. And fuck Coach Steve.
Fuck Coach Steve. Fuck Benjamin, his big back ass. He been a bitch.
Fat back.
You know?
Fat back. You fuck the whole football team.
Free Cortez.
Because he's a scorpion. He's a scorpion.
Yeah,
you don't think he's poisonous? Yeah, poison. What you think we poison? What he say?
We are venom. He said carnage. We are venom, man. Let carnage reign or whatever the fuck he said.
He said, let there be carnage. Hey, yo, son. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna be like, yo, son. Yeah,
we gotta find him, man. We might have to get him on.
Yeah,
we might need to bring him on the show, man. When you get free, man, you can come chill on the show, man.
I don't know. We can probably hook up a Zoom while he's in there.
Shit, why not? Probably. I don't know if Conyers. What county is that? Rockdale. I don't know if Rockdale County is as lawless as Fulton County is. I bet you they don't have phones and shit up in there.
They might. You know what I'm saying?
They might. We'll see. We'll reach out. We'll see who we can find.
Definitely.
Yeah, but the point is, fuck Benjamin because he's been a bitch. We'll see y'all next year. next episode, not year. Yeah. Word. Oh shit! Look, that shit's dope. Oh, look at him. Look at him. He's doing it. Paul.
I'm telling you, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, yo. Primo jab with a twist.